So can we go now, Sarah? Okay.
We're ready.
Okay. Can I get a motion for our previous meeting minutes from our previous meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Lombardo and a second from Swirsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a few pieces in front of us today. The first one is an ordinance authorizing Director of Public Service without the formality of publicly advertising for bids to enter into a contract or contracts with the Pro Door and Security Inc. for the installation of an integrated door security system at the Municipal Service Center and declaring an emergency. Mr. Leto? You're on mute. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. All of you have been out to the Public Works facility where we have the Bureau Manager, Jim Hall, Parks, Sanitation, street cleaning, motor equipment. Well, that has been a security issue for a number of years. Last year, we implemented where we put security on 7 doors where the employees will have a key card to access the building. The general public won't be able to walk in. So this is the second phase. ProDoor did do the first phase last year, and now we're going to do the back of the building. We did the front facing where there is some public parking, but the back of the building is what this legislation is for. So this will complete the security for that building.
Okay. Any questions from committee members? I can't see if there's any hands raised or not. Any questions from council members? Do you see anyone with their hand raised, Sarah?
I do not see anyone with their hand raised.
Okay. What's your pleasure, Chris?
Consent's fine.
Okay. Can I get a motion for consent?
I'll make the motion to consent.
I have a motion from Lombardo. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Swirsky. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that will go on consent. Our next piece is ordinance authorizing Director of Public Service to enter into an agreement or agreements and/or legislation with the Ohio Director of Transportation for certain improvements at various intersections in the city of Akron identified by the state of Ohio's statewide safety project and declaring an emergency. Mr. Leto?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. This is the ODOT Pedestrian Safety Improvement Program. And this were funds that we went after our engineering bureau, our traffic engineering bureau, and Office of Integrated Development. So they all work together with ODOT. And what this is, ODOT is what this legislation is doing, you are going to authorize ODOT to be able to work into our city. Okay, so we are not performing this work. We are not managing this work. ODOT will manage this work. They will bid this work at identified intersections throughout the city. And what this is curb ramps, it's pedestrian signage, it is those reflective rapid flashing beacons, solar power that you'll see at intersections. This is $800,000 of work that will take place next year in our city to improve the pedestrian safety. Obviously, it won't clear everything up. It'll be a great improvement. Some will be big block crossings. I believe there's one at Kenmore and 15th Street. There's, like I said, it's really all over the city. We can get you a list. It's quite an extensive list because some of these are only $3,000 or $4,000 and some of them are $60,000. So it is a big list of, and we're really excited. This will bid and it'll start in the spring of 2021.
Okay. So the whole 800,000 is all coming through ODOT, nothing for the
Yes.
city, correct? Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Any questions from any committee members? Mr. Swirsky?
How'd you decide which, where these go? I mean, what are the criteria for these enhancements to appear?
Well, traffic engineering did some traffic studies, and then OID, some of it's is grade streets where we knew we'd have more traveling public. I believe in your ward specifically, they looked at West Market between Cooter and Casterton. The way the lines are striped, so there'll be some restriping that will be done there. There'll be a handicap ramp. I'm not sure exactly what corner. So they looking at those type of things for an example. That is just one example of numerous locations.
Okay. So are you guys open to talking with the council people about specific locations and entertaining any requests from council people about where these,
Well,
what might be good? I mean, working with the expertise that you guys have, but
I mean, we've already identified all the locations. I can go back to engineering and see if something could be swapped out, but the money is capped at 800,000. We can't add to the program.
Right.
okay. And then just one, do you want to explain a little, you mentioned, these all sound really good, and gosh, anytime we get a chance to get 800,000 from another source, whether it's exactly the spot we want it or not, I understand. You mentioned the solar powered, and I forgot what word you used, but I didn't quite understand what that was. A certain kind of sign or?
Reflective rapid flashing beacon. So you come up to a corner and you hit a crosswalk, this thing will start to flash to let the traveling public know that someone will be crossing at that intersection.
Okay. Okay, sounds great. Sounds great.
Any other questions from any other committee members? Any questions from council members? I don't think I see any hands raised. Do you, Sarah?
I do. I see Councilman Malik's hand is raised.
Okay, Councilman Malik.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Little. I think it would be helpful if we could get a list of the improvements. I think one of them is a mid-block crosswalk down in the valley. And I know that there have been discussions between the city and ODOT. So I appreciate, the discussions that you guys have been having.
Okay, we'll get you the list. I mean, down there, I think there's one at Merriman and Towpath, and there's one at Portage Path and Towpath. I believe both those intersections have been identified for these type of improvements.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any questions from any other council members? Mr. Leto, what's your pleasure?
Consent's fine.
Okay, can I get a motion for consent?
Motion for consent.
I have a motion from Swartzky.
Second.
I have a second from McKittrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that will go on consent. Our next piece, ordinance authorizing Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract with Sourcewell without the formality of advertising for bids for the purchase of Toter Incorporated's trash and recycle carts and associated repair and replacement parts for use by the Public Works Bureau and declaring an emergency. Mr. Leto?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. I'm sure all of you have probably gotten requests lately about, their cart's broken or they need parts, a new lid or wheels. Unfortunately, Sourcewell is our vendor that's been low bid. And I don't know if it was due to COVID, it's really hard to get parts. So they are manufacturing these as we speak. We're looking to get 1,500 new carts. They have 10-year warranty, but we also purchasing many, many wheels and lids to rehab our carts. As you know, our cart program, it's very successful. It's about 16 years old. These carts are getting older. So that's what this legislation will do. And as soon as we get them in, we'll get them out into each of your wards. We have probably about 900 requests right now through 311 for some type of cart maintenance or cart replacement. So that's what this legislation is for.
Okay. Okay, any questions from any committee members? Any questions from any council members? I'm assuming that's a no.
I don't see any hands raised.
What's your pleasure, Mr. Little?
Consent's fine.
Consent. Okay, can I get a motion for consent?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion from Councilman Lombardo,
Second.
and I have a second for Councilman McKittrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have one more piece. Ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent to issue purchase orders without the formality of advertising for bids to Wolf Brothers Supply, Inc. for the acquisition of miscellaneous materials for cities, buildings, maintenance division, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Little?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. This is addition to the PO that you passed earlier this year. We're out of money on this PO. So this is to add $10,000 to the Wolf Brothers PO. Wolf Brothers is a company on Kelly Avenue. And they supply all the things that you listed there in various divisions. These are parts that our internal staff, building maintenance staff use every day, whether it's electrical or HVAC or plumbing. It's to maintain all of our buildings on a daily basis. We may not use all $10,000, but for an example, if we have a hot water tank commercial hot water tank that would go, it could be a couple $1,000s just for the parts. And then obviously our own staff would provide the labor. So this is to get parts at a rapid pace to make the repair in a timely manner.
Okay. Any questions from committee members? Any questions from council members?
I don't see any raised hands.
Okay. What's your pleasure, Mr. Little?
Consent's fine.
Okay, can I get a motion for consent?
I'll make the motion to consent.
I have a motion from Councilman Lombardo. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman McKittrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. That is all that is coming before us. Chris, before we leave, can you get us an update on the CSO projects and where they are, the ones that are currently being worked on, and who that person, which company is working on those? So we can get an update of where we are, because I'm concerned about a few of them in East Akron. So if you can get us an update, I'd appreciate it.
If you want us to do something at committee, like in a couple weeks, would that be fine?
Yes, if you could put something together to present to us in a couple weeks to give us an update of where we are, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we can do that. We'll get it on the
Okay.
schedule. We'll work with Ellen and Sarah.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
And we have nothing else coming before us, so we are adjourned. Thank you.
You can stop it. Okay. Our next committee meeting will be Health and Social Services at 2:30.